Hey, this is Jen. I hope everybody's good. I'm here with an energy update. Thank you for being here. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're not new. Let's get into it. So, things are not they don't seem to be getting better out there, but rest assured, um, there's more going on behind the scene. And that's why we have to be going through this in our physical world. I've mentioned this before, and this is the Great Global Awakening. And a lot of people that have been spiritually awakened or walking this spiritual path have been waiting for this moment for a very long time. I do not believe that this is the end. It's the end of something, yes, but also the beginning of something else, of something new. And as I was posting this morning on social media, just as the caterpillar thought that it was the end of the world, it turned into a butterfly. And that's what this update is about, to focus on the butterfly and to release the caterpillar, to really let it go. And if you are still resisting that phase, that time where you're called into your cocoon to transform, I encourage you to surrender to that process, because it's through that process that light is born. It's through that process that we figure out who we truly are at the deepest core of ourselves, what illusions we've taken as truth, what programs we've taken as truth, and that's where we realize who we really, really are. That's what was going on. Too many people were resisting going into those, like that cave. Let's call it a cave, because it really does feel like it's a cave. It's hard to go there. We feel disconnected from the world. We feel disconnected from ourselves, from the divine, from who we really are, and from everything that we know. It can be greatly hard to navigate in this cave, to figure out how to gain our footing again. This is what's going on globally. And it's especially today, we're Saturday, March 28th, it feels like it's the major tower moment at this point. I know it is for the divine masculine. Most of them have reached their breaking point. Most of them were resisting everything spiritual. They thought they were spiritual, but they were refusing to go into the cave. They were refusing to connect to that cocoon of theirs, and they were refusing to really heal. They were still playing old programs given by karmic people, given by their families, old programs of the feminine cannot be trusted. The feminine is here to take. All of this is going away. They are reaching, or they have reached, their breaking point. And if we look beyond the divine masculine, divine feminine, and just like human beings at large, everybody is reaching their breaking point. Look around you, your family, your friends. Look around you. I know in my surrounding, like very close people of mine that were really stubborn are now into that process of, I have no choice but to surrender. I do not control this. There's nothing I can control but my own behavior. And this is where we need to be in order to go back up. I know it's difficult. I know a lot of people are struggling, are afraid, are stressed out. But really, if you take a moment to pause and to just look around, we're all in the same boat. So it's really not a time to start that chain of negativity of why is this coming back up again? No, just figure it out. And I don't want to seem cold-hearted here, but a lot of people are into tough love mode because it's not a time to be a victim. It's not. Everybody is a victim. And those who will rise are those who will take that opportunity to transform this into a strength instead of complaining and whining. That's what we're called to do, to rise up, to rise above, to transform and to shift. Sure, tower moments are never easy to go through, never. I know that. We all know that, for that matter, but they are necessary. Whether we're conscious of why or unconscious of why, they are necessary. It's easier when we're conscious. It's easier when we connect that energy into ourselves to figure out what the message is behind that tower moment. At this point, that's what the Divine Masculine is going through. That's what globally we are going through. So before we can start fresh, rise up again, we need to release everything. This weekend is about really getting out of the closet, everything, skeletons and all, and getting out of the closet in the meaning of, if you know you're a starseed, a light worker, a truth seeker, you may be feeling that calling of speaking your message, of spreading your message. And if you're at a different space on the timeline, perhaps it's about releasing and just letting go of what you used to know as your life, of what you used to know as your truth, and figuring out what your real truth is. It's about that alignment: heart, body, mind, soul. Our souls, they know. They've been whispering very loudly in the background what we need to do. And now it's not about the background anymore. It's in the front, right in our faces. So we have a choice to either face it and act, or still pretending that it's not there. I know for myself, I've been active on this channel for a few years now, but I was already doing spiritual work way before that. It's just that I never had the calling to go on YouTube to do that, or to, spread at large. I know that for myself lately, I've been giving a lot of tough love to some people, especially to the ones that are playing the victim. And it's not because I'm not compassionate or that I have no empathy. It's because it's time to let this go. That's it. That's all. It's time to realize that our own little, I'm a victim, I have it worse. I have it worse than others. I'm being shaken in my little comfort zone. Must go. It just must go. And if you can hear how I'm saying these words right now, I'm saying it with the utmost love. It's time to let it go. It's time to shift the I for we. We as one. We are one. It's time to shift that internal dialogue of, yeah, but what about me? Shift it to, what about us? And that reminds me of a really great song. It's time to shift it. Take the focus away from the greediness, the self-centeredness, and turn it towards the collective and humanity. And on the other hand, turn inward and go deep asking yourself, what can I do within? What can I do myself to help the collective? And then some answers will be revealed to you. If you're truly ready to know and to act and to do, the answers will come to you. You will know. You will be shown either through a feeling, an image, a vision, a knowing of what behaviors you need to let go and how to change them, by what to change it, with what. You will know. And it's the time now. This is going on for a reason. Some people, I know that a lot of light workers are like celebrating and being, yeah, finally this moment is here. And just this week I was putting on social media how our higher selves are all hanging out together, and they want to see that reflection in the physical world. That connection is truly there on the spiritual level, 5D and above. We're all together in the flower of life, helping each other out. We all have a mission. We all have a part to play in this big play. And we need to integrate that physically. That's what it's all about these days. That's why it feels heavy. It feels dense, even though around the new moon this week, we were feeling some kind of a relief. A relief of take a breather now, enjoy that sweet new energy, and get ready for the next phase. If you're able to tap into the dimension or tap into your higher dimension, you should see this, how all of our higher selves are all holding hands, putting their strength together, putting their light together to shift what is going on right now. We just need to embody this physically in each and every behavior that we have in our physical body, in our thoughts as well. Those thoughts of, why me? No, let them go. Just shift the tone at least. Why me? Why do I need to understand? What do I need to understand, about this? Instead of, why me? Why again? No. And it's by doing so all the time that on a collective level, the energy will ramp up. And for those that are more advanced, it's a time to use your powers. Connect spiritually to one another, use telepathy, use remote viewing, use any kind of technology that you are aware of to connect even more. It's a time. We've all seen in movies or in books or in series how some other beings are using telepathy to communicate. And we're all capable of this. Us human, we are. We just need to figure out how to turn that channel on, how to tune into that channel or dial into that channel. And now is the perfect time. With the divine masculine going through such a major tower moment, because their ego is being broken, is being released, is being shaken in all possible ways, it's a time to use telepathy, to connect with them, to transfer knowledge, to transfer unconditional love, to transfer unconditional forgiveness, to transfer your message to them. For some, their twin flame may be the easiest person to connect with. And for others that are a bit more advanced, they can connect to anyone on that level. I'm not going to go into details of that because I know there's like different rules of conduct when it comes to that. But if you stay with good intentions and you ask permission before you start transmitting something, nothing can go wrong. Just protect yourself, and if your intentions are good, Your message will be delivered. On the other end, if you think you are receiving something and you are not sure of what you're receiving, that's where your powers come in. If you have the intention that you are always protected, that you are strong, that you are a sovereign being, nothing harmful can come to you. Nothing. You will know, and you'll be able to block it and discard it or reject it without being touched. So you can practice that with, the social, I'm not going to use social, but with the physical isolation that is going on right now, it is a good time to do that with people to get your validation. Most people, not most, that's not the right proportion, but some people, the more advanced one, are being called into doing that. They know it, they feel it. They are hearing or feeling new things. If you're clairaudient, you may have started to hear new voices. And that's always a delicate subject to be talking about, because the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Resistant people will say, oh, you're talking about being schizophrenic. No, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those spiritual powers that we all have that just needs to be awakened once again, because they were at one time, they got lost, they got put to sleep, and now it's time to bring them back and to learn how to work with them again. We are all connected in this unified field. So if one person does it, and then another one, the message is being spread much faster. So if you are clairaudient, perhaps you started hearing new voices. If you are cognizant, you may have started feeling new things. If you're clairvoyant, you may be at this point seeing deeper, seeing stuff you've never seen before. You're able to go higher in the dimensions. You're able to go deeper in yourself and deeper in other people when you're reading their energy. So, this is not about giving a course on how to use telepathy, but basically there's a transmitter and a receiver. So practice that with people around you. Practice it with your twin flame. You'll see you're going to get validation of what you've been transmitting, what you've been doing. You will see it. And sometimes it comes like so vividly in real time in front of you. You'll see, you'll notice a sudden change in behavior in some people or in animals. You can practice with your animals as well. You'll see it works. I may be sounding very crazy for some people because I'm talking about this. It's just I've been using this for years now, and I don't need to be convinced. And I'm just here to say this is the time to play around with these things. Get inspired, watch movies, see how they do it, and do it yourself. Or I don't know, go on Amazon or Audible and buy some books and start playing with that to see what it feels like to be transmitting and to be receiving. You may also want to do this with your loved ones that are over the rainbow bridge, because you knew them, it should be easier. Other than that, I can sense the fear in the collective, the density of this layer that we're peeling off. And it's a layer of illusion. It's a layer of programs that were there to reveal the truth. It's really not a time to be panicking, to be anxious. It's a time to be grounded, to be truly and strongly connected to our hearts and our soul, and to listen what our soul is saying. Our soul is constantly whispering in our mind, in our heart, in our ears, what we need to be doing. There is no better time to put that into action. It's by doing that we're going to get through this faster, that we're going to get through this stronger and see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just difficult at this time to see everything come crumbling down. But for the star seeds, for the awakened people, for the light workers, you saw this coming. You knew one day it would come, and we are in it. And even if for a lot of people it is financially difficult at this time, that's a bigger reason to reconnect and to connect to your abundance abilities to manifest what you need at this point. Sure, it's easy to say when you cannot go to work, use your mind, use your spirit. When I say the word mind, I don't mean the ego or the brain. I do mean part of the brain, because we need that part of those parts of the brain to transmit and to receive. But I do mean use your being. Use your soul, use your brain to be the receiver of what your soul is saying and to transmit. Use your heart to give out and to transmit. Anyway, I don't want to go into too deep into that, even though I could talk about this for hours and hours. It's so interesting, it's so fun, but it's the time to make those connections within yourself, within each and every one of us, and it's time to start experimenting what it feels like. If you've been doing this, you already know, so help each other, help other people navigate through this. And the main message of today's energy update was that breaking point, that major tower moment. Those who are stuck in their ego, being extremely afraid of letting go, this is probably the final day. This is probably the final and last time that they can be so stubborn. And you know who I'm talking about. We all have stubborn people in our lives that only care about themselves, that only care about their own little things. It is gone. It is done. It is over. And those people are going to have a hard time if they don't switch right away, but it's their own choice. They have free will. So if you meditate, maybe having a nice little intention for these people to shift this, quickly and smoothly. Other than that, the divine masculine is, like I mentioned, having a really hard time with this tower moment because they're really wondering, what's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of my life? Why am I here? Which is the ultimate call for them to wake up, which is the ultimate call and sign from the universe that they're ready to open up to something deeper, to something meaningful about them and about their mission. And it's the ultimate sign that they're about to surrender to their mission here on earth on a physical level. Because if you're able to read energy, you might be seeing that their higher selves are aligned and they're just waiting for the physical body and vessel to be ready and to accept that. That's where we're at. If you're in the twin flame connection, perhaps you had clues and messages from your twin's higher self in the past 2-3 days, or it shall come soon. A really strong, very clear and undeniable message from their higher self of where they're at. And where most are at is about that physical vessel to be ready to receive those downloads and that new energy, the message from the higher selves. It's been in preparation and now it's like showtime. If we compare it to a play, you know how when the actors are right behind the curtains, those few seconds before the curtains open, that's where we're at. And it's going to be a huge blindfold being taken away from them and them suddenly being renewed and reborn with a new knowledge. Not a new knowledge, but a newly awareness about this knowledge. And they will suddenly start acting differently, reach out, change their ways, change their life, and change their being. And that was needed. It was a huge problem for the twin flames, but also for the collective. If you've been in the twin flame connection for some time now, you know what I'm talking about, that resistance that was coming from the divine masculine. That was, maybe putting more pressure on you or density on you. It will be gone very shortly because they are called into duty and they have no choice. They just have no choice. It will happen no matter what. So it's really a time to keep having trust, having faith, keep doing your work, keep protecting your energy, keep your self-care routine. And what else do I want to say? Be aligned, be focused. Follow that voice inside. That's all. Follow that voice. You'll be fine. You are where you are now, and this is exactly where you are meant to be at this time. We're all going through this in a different matter, and it's like right now it's the opposite. We have the light workers that are really excited and really happy about this, and they are the other people that are depressed and having a really hard time. So it's time to balance the two and help each other out to move forward. With that being said, thank you for being here and listening. You can follow me on social media at Indigo Girl 555, Indigo Girls Readings on Facebook, or using my email at indigogirl555@gmail.com. Be careful what you take in as truth. Connect to your intuition. That's where the truth is. And until the next time, be well.